This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Giff.
Yeah, and we're back. It's been a busy couple weeks, guys.
Yes,
Well, maybe
it has
not
been.
for you. You guys had some time off in there, but man, I'm wiped by this podcast stuff.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
like
I wasn't
celebrities.
busy. I wasn't busy at all during that time off. I just sat around.
I'm talking about the podcast stuff.
I'm wiped already. We've only been recording for about 2 minutes now.
I know.
Pete's
Well,
time.
I did it
Actually,
3
it's
nights in a
morning.
row last week, and we had 2 guest appearances today. It's been exciting though. It's cool. It's fun to meet all these people.
Yeah, it is.
One of those guest appearances was the 80s movie bracket, the comedy bracket of the 80s 90s Recall show, which we all love, of course.
Mhm.
And I was on that, and one of the movies that was up for that was highly seated in that bracket was Coming to America. And that just happens to be our topic for tonight. Coming to America. Now, that episode is out, so I think I can give it away. It didn't do very well. Wait, I actually know. I can't remember now what it did.
Hey, no
It- it-
spoilers. I'm 37 minutes in right now.
Okay. You haven't read it, so I won't spoil it for you. Actually, and I'm wrong. It did better than I'm thinking. I'm getting confused. So, but it
Well, it'll
should,
happen
because
at
it
your
is a
age.
great, great movie, and we all loved it ever since 1988, right, guys?
That's right,
That is-
Brad.
That is correct.
So let's talk about what we remember. Pete, when did you watch it?
I feel that the first time I saw this movie was with you. I don't remember exactly when, but I'm pretty sure that the first time was at home. It wasn't in the theater when I saw it. You probably had seen it before. But the first time I saw it was with you. And I just remember this being it's right up there with Three Amigos or some of those. It's top 5 for sure in terms of the most quotable movies that we have watched. There's so many great characters in it, quotable lines. Of course, many of the characters are the same, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, but they all have their individual little quirks and their quotes, and they're just funny. And even like some of the people that are only in it for like 1 or 2 lines or whatever, their delivery is just perfect.
Like
It's
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. I've got in my notes, which we'll talk about a couple of things about his cameo. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it. He doesn't even say anything, but
Yep,
he's just
no
kind of
words.
memorable in it. But it's a really good story too. And
It's a love story.
and it's a good movie all around. So
It really is a romantic comedy in the
it's
end.
a romantic comedy in the end. How that comes together is pretty abrupt, but we'll talk about that too. But I'll say that.
I mean, I will
But
say the
it's
ending.
a fun movie. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, but the ending does have kind of a hole or two that, like, I've never really totally figured out. But we'll get to that at the end.
That's
Giff, how
right.
about you?
I'm pretty sure the first time I saw this movie, it was edited. I probably watched it off of TV, so I didn't get all of the.
So
You
he
missed
just
a
got
lot.
he
I
just
didn't
got
get-
his upper body cleaned in that version.
I
then?
didn't get the 80s boobs in the beginning. But even with that, this movie came out right before my 12th birthday, right? So I mean, my parents weren't going to take me to this in the movie theater. I don't believe this was one of those that I got off HBO from my uncle, because like I say, I don't remember the boobs in it, and those usually get pretty well implanted in my memory as a 12-year-old
They do.
child. So
They do.
but I still loved it. Like
Different kind of breast implants. That's what I say.
but I mean, again, at the end of it, it is a romantic comedy. So you're really not missing the point, the plot of the movie. You're missing
Sure.
out on some of the more impactful punchlines with the swearing in there. But you still get a lot of the great stuff. The guys in the barbershop are some of the best, and obviously
Those are
there's
so
swearing.
good.
There's swearing in there too, but like you said, their deliveries are so spot on and so funny that even without the swearing, you're getting a lot of the comedy out of it. So yeah, this was way up there. I think also, some of the fun for it being, not even a teenager when this came out, is there is a little bit of a tabooness to Eddie Murphy. Like I remember I had
Yeah, especially in the 80s.
my brother and I think he got a dubbed version of the Delirious comedy special, and we listened to that, the two of us, like in our room. Mom and dad couldn't hear it. There was all the swearing and and it was just one of the funniest things I'd ever heard. So to watch it even edited, you kind of felt like you're getting away with a little something, because Eddie was a little more raw, if you will. So
That's funny you bring that up. My cousin in
Well
Sioux
done.
Falls, who's older than me, had a tape of maybe both, but I think Raw for sure. And I remember like people would be out. We'd go to their house, and like I was the youngest, so they'd all be out, my cousins, like doing stuff, and I sat in his room a lot by myself and listened to tapes. And I remember he had a Beach Boys tape and he had an Eddie Murphy tape, and I played in television Pitfall. Like I can sit there, I can sit here picturing myself doing those things. And so yeah, I heard some Eddie Murphy stand up too, which harbinger for our later part of our show too.
yes, yes, it is.
I did not see this in movie theater either. We were, too young, but I remember distinctly the first time I saw it. So I saw this for the first time on video when my brother brought it home. So this is pre-owning the corner store. It was rented at the corner store, I'm sure. But my brother, and he's in college, but I remember several occurrences of him renting a movie and bringing him home to watch with me on the farm there before we moved. And so I don't know if I don't remember him coming home that often, or maybe it was in the summer. But there's 4 specific movies that I remember him bringing home and me introducing to. Die Hard was like the best one, because that's how I got into Die Hard. Mississippi Burning, which I just rewatched the other day, which is a great movie. Coming to America, and one that we've already talked about too, When Harry Met Sally. All 4 of those, I remember him like basically bringing them home, and we watched together. And this was one of them.
That's really
I
a
laughed.
broad spectrum there. Many different, very different kinds of movies that you just
Oh, yeah.
listed. Those 4.
You're right. I laughed so hard at this movie the first time. So I was an Eddie Murphy fan. Like of course, like I just said, I listened to some stuff, and I knew some of the, I think, SNL skits from different, replays and stuff. But I wasn't nearly as aware of him as I would become after this movie. This is really probably my main introduction. I don't know if I'd seen Trading Places or not yet.
I had seen
I probably
Trading
had
Places
once.
in 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop. Or
Yeah, you know me.
this,
I hadn't seen that either, because I missed out on the ones everybody saw.
Oh my God.
But this movie, it just hit me in all the right ways. My favorite thing was all those multiple roles that him and Arsenio Hall played. I mean, I think Arsenio Hall's not even an actor. He just had a TV show, a talk show, yet he played these parts just unbelievably. Like, the guy could do more stuff. It was so funny. It was also my introduction. Star Wars? Nope, not for me. This is like where I really learned about James Earl Jones. I'm like, hey, I know that voice.
I will say, though, that this is the first I remember James
Yes.
Earl Jones. Even though,
Right.
of course, you've seen Star Wars many times, you didn't know the voice or who it was. It was
And
many
that's
years
actually-
later that I found out, oh, that was James Earl Jones.
That's
That makes
kind of what
sense.
I was
That's the
saying, because
right
I
voice.
did know, even though I hadn't seen it, I knew Darth Vader. I knew the voice. And so learning about who it was here, like that was kind of what I meant. But the amount of quotes that we say throughout my life in this movie are just off the charts. It's one of the most quotable movies of all time. So I love it. And I guess I have my brother to thank, at least in part. I'm sure I would have watched it at some point.
Right.
So Coming to America came out on June 28th, 1988. It had a $30 million budget and made almost $130 million. And it was the 3rd highest grossing movie of the year. So major hit.
I had 289. Just
Well,
in
I
the
think
US.
this was, I thought mine was US maybe and not global.
Global was 350.
Okay, well that seemed low. I'll take your number then. Seems
Yeah.
better. The audience has obviously loved it. I did read a few critic reviews that maybe weren't as high. Now, Gene Siskel, he did like it. He liked the acting, gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars.
Right.
Ebert, however, did not like that Murphy was more toned down in this movie, which I don't know. When you factor in the different characters he's playing,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess his main guy is kind of the straight man, but still, come on. So he didn't like the script. He didn't like Eddie Murphy. He didn't like the movie very much, at least the first time.
Right.
There was a pilot made for this, for a TV series, but it wasn't picked up. And
This is
famously,
after the movie? After the
Yes.
movie?
yeah,
Okay.
after the movie. Famously, John Landis and Eddie Murphy have had a long-running feud, and they did not get along during this movie. So they had a great relationship earlier on, but according to
Trading
Landis,
places.
trading places. According to Landis, Eddie at this point had become way too full of himself. Of course, Landis had his own issues because somebody died on one of his sets, and his movies weren't all giant hits. But of course, we love Three Amigos, so he was doing fine in my book. I think they've kind of patched that up a little bit at one point, but it was pretty bad. Like they did not like each other or get along.
Yeah, Murphy had him come back and do Beverly Hills Cop 3 like 6 years later. So they did patch it up. But yeah, Murphy makes it out like, oh, I'm doing this guy a favor.
Yeah.
You know, he's having the Twilight Zone lawsuit. I bring him in, and then he just is just a dick. And I'm sure there's a little bit of both on this, but I mean, at this point, Eddie Murphy is the biggest star on the planet. I mean, he can do no wrong. So the ego side of things, I get, but I mean, Jesus, he was huge.
They both had egos. That's the problem.
And Eddie Murphy had some issues with Saturday Night Live too. After he left, I think there was some issues with the cast and crew of Saturday Night Live, and that's why he's not in a lot of. He's been in a couple of the reunion shows and whatever, and maybe they've patched it up. But I know that
he hosted,
kind of got in the way there too.
He hosted last year or 2 years ago.
It's gotten better. He did appear on the 50th and had a part which was really funny, but that was a really big deal that he was there and had a major part in it because that was pretty rare.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, but he made a comment like John Landis had 3 bombs in a row in his career. But I looked at his filmography, and that's not even true. He had made several decent movies and decent hits right before this, including Three Amigos, which wasn't a big hit.
It wasn't a big hit though. Yeah.
But it made some money, and I can't remember the other ones. Well, Spies Like Us, I think, didn't he do that too? I mean, that was a top 10 of the year hit, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was up there.
So I don't know. He was overdoing that, and you got 2 big egos, and they just they clashed.
Right.
Initially, there was a lot of negative reactions to the first press screening of this movie, and they canceled, or they canceled the press screenings because of the negative reaction they got at first.
Right.
Did you have something about that?
Why was
No, I was just agreeing with you. I heard that too.
What was the nature of the?
It just wasn't reviewed. It wasn't being reviewed well, and
idiots.
Then they released it in, like Brad said, in June, and it just absolutely took off. I mean, the only 2 movies that beat it at the box office that year were Rain Man and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I mean, and that was number 3 after that. So I mean, it was massive right out of the gate. And I mean, Eddie Murphy, like I say, he's in his full swing heyday at this point. A year later, he comes out with Harlem Nights, which is one of my favorite movies of his, with Richard Pryor and Red Fox, and I mean, another great cast, and he was awesome in that as well. So it was going to hit huge just because him being attached to it at this point was going to make it a blockbuster.
I don't know. I guess they knew that, and so they didn't need the press screenings probably. And if they weren't getting the good reviews they wanted, it's like, why bother?
Mm-hmm.
Although whoever these press people were, they're idiots.
Yep.
The famous commercial here, Soul Glow, the jingle was composed by Nile Rodgers from the band Chic, who has suggested that this is his proudest moment. And he's a successful musician with a lot of other stuff, but he said his Soul Glow jingle is his proudest moment, and I can't argue.
And he did the score for this movie, so I mean, he's involved in it in other ways too. But yeah, the Soul Glow is just such a highlight of this. I mean, there's so many little. That's one of the things that makes this movie so great. Is there's so many little things in it that just stand out on their own, but they aren't, major parts of the movie.
Yeah, I would put this down, as I was kind of alluded to earlier. It's one of the most fun movies, and it's one that you cannot take too seriously. Just enjoy every bit of it, and every time you watch it, you get something a little different that you maybe didn't catch up on or pick up on before. But it's just fun. Every line, every character, it's just fun all the way through, including the music.
Well, and the writers for this envisioned it as more of a fairy tale. So like the scenes in the beginning in Africa are, in Zamunda are supposed to be more
Hello, Babar.
unrealistic, if you will. Yeah,
It's
like
sort of like Cinderella's castle or something like
yeah,
that.
there's all the animals running around.
It's an African
Pete,
version of yeah.
Pete mentions the music. Of course, Landis did the Thriller video famously, and that dance at the presentation of the bride to be is a high tempo sped up version of the Thriller dance. If you watch the motions, there's a lot of the same choreography in
Really?
that from the Thriller dance. Yeah, like kind of the
That's a fun fact.
that move.
That's
So
true.
it's one of the things I would like to mention here for fun facts: 2 Oscar nominations for this movie. One for best costume design, and then the second for, of course, best makeup. This was Eddie Murphy's first
Well deserved.
first run at doing multiple characters, and that makeup was so amazing. Like, he was dressed as the Jewish patron
white
for the
guy?
barbershop. Yeah, the white guy, and he went around on a golf cart on like the Paramount. Is it Paramount? I think it's Paramount lot,
Yeah,
and
Paramount.
would go up to people in his speaking in his regular voice, and people couldn't believe that that
harkens back to his Saturday Night Live sketch
Yeah.
where he dressed up as a white person and went on a bus. And like as soon as the last black guy
To see
gets
what
off
life
the
is like,
bus,
everybody just
all-
giving him money.
they all have like a big party on the bus and champagne and everything.
That is one of the best sketch. That's like a not remembered well enough sketch. That one is so amazing.
Yeah,
But yeah, he can play a white guy, and you don't. It's so convincing. The makeup, but also just the way he acts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's done it twice, at least twice. Okay, well, do you have any more fun facts, either one of you?
I got another one here. I got James Earl Jones and Midge Sinclair, who are king and queen in this movie. Also did the voices for Mustafa and Queen Sarabi in The Lion King.
Oh yeah, of course he does. I guess I missed that she was also. That's something else. I thought I have it as Madge Sinclair.
Oh, is it Madge? Sorry, I can't read my own writing. The other thing I have there's a couple lawsuits associated with this movie, but my favorite is a 2022 lawsuit against a pop-up McDowell's restaurant. So
the Golden Arcs.
Yes, in the movie, of course, you have Cleo dodging lawsuits from McDonald's, and then Paramount takes out a lawsuit against a pop-up company that started a McDowell's restaurant. So thought that was kind of fun.
Would you like to hear a synopsis of the movie before
I
we
was
dive into it?
Coming to you next if the fun
Yep.
facts are done.
No, I think I'm good there.
Here we go.
Oh, it's clearing his throat. Here we go, baby.
Let me clear my throat.
Okay, sorry.
Today is the 21st birthday of Akeem, Crown Prince of Zamunda. However, he has reservations about the day, as it is the day he is to enter into the marriage that has been arranged for him by his father, King Jafi. He chooses to withdraw from the wedding and go with a servant and his best friend, Semi, to New York to find a woman that truly loves him, not just because he is a prince. The king continues to pressure him into the arranged marriage, but okays the trip to sow his royal oats, and that he must return in 40 days back to the arranged marriage. In New York, Queens, of course, he lives incognito, working at McDowell's, and in a very poor apartment. He finds Lisa, the girl he truly loves. The plan, however, goes awry when he is revealed to be the prince, and she is not sure if she can love him since she doesn't know who he really is. Dejected, he is forced to return to Zamunda empty-handed and proceed with the arranged marriage. However, as he lifts the bridal veil, he is overjoyed to find that it is Lisa.
Very nice.
Very good.
And there's
Yes.
a party at the end.
Yes.
All right. So we've hit on a lot of the cast so far. Let's just run through again. So obviously Eddie Murphy, he plays how many parts in this movie? Like 4 or 5 parts?
Four,
Four
I
parts?
I got 4.
Including Randy Watson.
That boy good.
Yeah, good and terrible.
Good, terrible.
You got Arsenio Hall, who I don't know if he ever did another movie. Has he done other movies like in any? I mean, other than maybe a small part.
He did Coming to America, right?
Oh.
The
Did he?
The sequel.
he was
but-
in the
but
second one, right?
I know. I don't remember. I did.
I'm pretty
actually-
sure he was.
I am somebody who actually liked that movie and thought it was pretty well done, but I don't remember, much about it.
Oh yeah, he was in Harlem Nights.
I was just gonna say, was he in Harlem Nights too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So he did have a couple big movies with Eddie Murphy, but he really focused on the old talk show there. Woo, 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 woo. And that was about it.
Was he in
James-
Ghost? I found a thing that says that he is in Ghost. Is that correct?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I
really?
just Googled it real quick, saying that maybe he had a bit role in it, but Harlem Nights and Ghost is on it.
Oh. Guess don't
I have
remember
only
him in
seen Ghost once, I believe, and that was 35 years ago.
It must be a really small role. I don't know.
there. Yeah.
All right, but we got James Earl Jones, who
Mm-hmm.
actually was more interested in the role of Lisa's dad at first,
Mhm.
but they decided that he would be better off. And I mean, really, when you look at the parts, you couldn't have cast him any better. And he's got that kingly just presence about
Regalness.
him and he's
Oh,
kind of
yes.
intimidating to everybody, including his own son. So he's perfect for the role there.
Yeah.
The dad of Lisa is John Amos, who is perfect.
Oh,
Hey,
God,
coming-
I love him. How good is
coming-
he?
He's so good, but coming from a sitcom background, he can play more of the goofy, funny dad. But that scene, which I mean, we'll get to it, but the scene at the end where he's running back and forth, I mean, he is a shining light in this movie. He is awesome.
He is.
R.I.P. You've got Eric LaSalle playing the Soul Glow fortune kid who's Lisa's boyfriend, and he's best known for ER,
Yep.
which came later. But his role could have been played by Wesley Snipes, which would have made me a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to picture Wesley Snipes or really anybody else in this role. I just thought that he was perfect again.
Well,
it's really difficult.
That's the thing with this movie. I don't think you can picture anybody else in any of these roles. They're all so perfectly cast, and they're such unique characters that it's great.
Mhm.
If it's not John Amos, the other sneaky favorite, best character in this movie by far is Frankie Faison, the apartment
Yes.
landlord. That's what I'm looking
Super-
for.
yep.
That guy is amazing. He's been in lots of different things, but I will never forget his lines in this movie, which we'll get to. Damn shame what they did to that dog. It is an almost all black cast, and the studio had a little bit of a pause with that. So we literally have a token white person in this movie, and they went for a comedian from Minnesota, Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Minnesota, no
Sure.
less.
Working at McDowell's, and Louis good. It doesn't have much of a part, but it's nice that they give him some lines and give him something to do while he's in there too.
Right.
And apparently, I
Screen
mean,
and lettuce.
Eddie Murphy he likes him, respects him, so he pretty much handpicked him to be the
Well,
white
they
guy.
gave him a list of 3 guys, and he had seen Louis Anderson's act and said, "I like him.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
let's go with him." So they didn't say
I like
there was
him. He seems smart.
he seems smart. They didn't say who the other 2 were. There was an interview between Arsenio and Eddie many years after. They didn't say who the other 2 candidates were, but they just said, "Hey, we knew Louis. We felt comfortable. We liked him, so we
I'd be
brought him."
fascinated to hear who the other 2 were, if they're
Right.
if they're
Yeah, me
names
too.
that you'd know, or
Mhm.
at this time, like potentially like Jerry Seinfeld, maybe. I mean, this is around the same time he'd be running around New York, starting to get big.
Another white guy, by the way, in the movie is the cab driver who had a small part, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought he was pretty hilarious too.
You're
Jake-
right.
Jake Steinfeld.
Yeah,
instead of
Yes,
Seinfeld.
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a very small part, but he does make his presence felt in his
Mhm.
little role there.
One thing Queens has a lot of, it's common parts.
Yes. Is this shitty enough for you?
You have all these great barbershop scenes and this little group of guys that is just wonderful. And one of them is not played by Arsenio Hall or Eddie Murphy, and that is Clint Smith. So the other guy in the barbershop, the kind of little fun guy, is Clint Smith.
Yep.
One of my favorite parts, and this is like, so I can remember watching this with my brother. So we're watching this for the first time. And when this scene comes on, he flipped out at how funny it was. And that is when
and rightfully so.
Don Amici and Ralph Bellamy get the money, and he had to. I probably hadn't seen Trading Places at this point because he had to explain to me, or maybe I'd seen it but didn't, too young to make the connection
Click.
and remember. But he had to explain to me why that was so funny, and it's just brilliant. What a way to take these two worlds and combine them, and those two guys are great, and it's such a funny scene. And I
He had the
love that.
music. He had the music.
Yeah,
from
they're playing the
Trading
score
Places in
from
there.
Trading Places.
Yeah, that's a nice little spot. You're not going to forget about Oha, are you?
Oh, I don't have Oha on here, so you take that.
Paul Bates plays Oha,
Paul Bates,
the servant or confidant, I guess.
singer.
Yeah, God, he's so good.
Well,
Well, the best part about that, he does a great job singing it, but the way he goes from
the
expression
initial, yep,
to singing and then right back to expression
right-
is
Oh,
just
it's
phenomenal.
robotic.
If you listen to the lyrics too, it's pretty hilarious. Completely free from infection.
to be
It's
used
good.
at your discretion in the very next line.
Kind of see why Akeem maybe didn't care much for that situation.
Yeah.
All right, we have one of the first appearances on screen by Samuel L. Jackson, and what a great appearance it is.
Mhm.
And like kind of foreshadows a lot of roles he would play, but it's awesome, and so it's great to look back and see him in there. Now, who the fuck are you?
One thing I noticed about the movie is that half of the time Akeem is like the dumb immigrant that doesn't understand, like Balky on Perfect Strangers.
Yes,
But there's parts of it too where he is like really refined, of course, from his own world. But like this is one of the scenes, of course, where he's able to figure out and sneaky, where he unscrews the mop stick, the
mop
broomstick,
handle.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah, the broom handle, and fights him off. Of course, that's foreshadowed earlier in the movie when they're fighting, which is another funny scene when they're training together, and he does that backflip. He does like 10 backflips, and then he just stands there and smiles.
What kind of games y'all play in Africa? Chase the monkey.
Chase the monkey.
All right, Pete, you mentioned I think the first appearance ever of Cuba Gooding Jr. Doesn't even speak, but once you know Cuba Gooding Jr., you can't not recognize him getting his hair cut there in the barber
It's just
shop.
a boy in a chair getting his
Just
hair
smiling
cut
along.
and smiling, and that's that's perfect.
You mentioned Madge Sinclair is the queen, and Lisa is Sherry Headley, who went on to, I had to look her up because I'm like, she had to be in something, but she went on to be basically a soap opera actress. She was in lots and lots of episodes of multiple soaps throughout the 90s. And of course, you mentioned John Landis as the director who directed so many of our classic favorite films throughout the 80s.
Yep.
Anybody else? You said Oha. We missing anybody else from the list there?
I'm looking for Patrice in here.
Oh yeah, I didn't have
Allison,
Patrice.
Allison Dean plays Patrice.
Lisa's sister.
Yep. No, you got those two guys. No, that should cover it.
All right. Well, let's run through this movie. We're just going to kind of go quickly, scene by scene. Not scene by scene. That sounds really dragged out, but we're going to get through it here. So I do love the opening song over the credits. So Nile Rodgers, if he did, the score for that, it's just a fun scene. It's got the African beat to it, but it's happy. And it's slow because it's all credits, but it gives you that visual of where they live, and it's really cool. And you get the elephants in the background.
And it's a
so
version of The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they kind of retooled it. I'll retool you.
But this whole opening scene, that's where we learn, about the king and the queen and the the servant, whatever you want to call him. So we've got a lot going on here. Pete mentioned Eddie with the flips and smiling. I was going to mention that. They really do go all out on the castle and the costumes. I mean, so you said that's one of the things up for an Oscar for, right?
Yes, costume design.
The costumes are, there's a lot going on in these scenes here. And even like the dance, it's pretty dragged out. It's like kind of unexpected to have that long of a dance before the wedding in this comedy when you think you'd want to like keep the stuff moving. Because it's not like the dance is funny. It's an actual dance that we're watching that's part of the tradition.
Sorry, I was just going to say that entire sequence is simply to establish how great that he has it, and like how ridiculous some of these things are that this kingdom is, and that's a big part of the comedy, where he has somebody brushing his teeth for him. He just
Wiping
smiles
his ass.
wiping.
and the famous "Your royal penis is clean, Your Highness."
Yes.
Right.
I like the
and
part-
all of that. There's about 10 of those types of things that you see, and it's all funny. It's all good, but that's the point of it, is just to establish how he just has absolutely everything handed to him. And
I
he
love
doesn't have to
the
do anything.
toothbrushing scene. They brush his teeth only in the very front for like 2 seconds. It doesn't
Right,
seem
and that's
quite
it.
hygienic
Yeah.
enough for quality toothbrushing.
No.
Well, I like this part where he's talking to his dad and saying, like, I need to go out and live, basically. I've never brushed my own teeth or wiped my own butt. I've never bathed myself. And then he goes, actually, I rather enjoy the
I
bathing.
rather enjoy the baby. And the dad smiles.
I tied my own shoes once. It's a very overrated experience.
Yes.
I do think with all these great costumes and this amazing visual scene that they've set up, I feel like the crown that James Earl Jones is wearing, King Joffrey, it looks like one of those fake crowns that kids make where they like stick gum and jewels with gum
Yes.
on, or with glue on it. It looks
Yeah.
so like kiddish, that crown. And you thought the same thing.
Oh, yeah. It looked like gum to me.
He went to
For
Burger
sure.
King beforehand and got one.
Yeah, it's like take a Burger King crown, get some glue, get some jewels, get some gum. You've got a
Yep.
fancy crown now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Pete's mentioned the penis line, and I mentioned "Hello,
did.
Babar," which I think is just
Yep.
hilarious.
Hello,
And as a
Papa.
kid, I thought the Queen to Be song was so funny, and we would sing that. Those are my favorite lines of this scene. Is there anything we're missing from this opening scene that's important? You got any other lines from there?
When the king and queen are talking, trying to calm Hakeem about the arranged marriage, and his mom says, I was so nervous that I was actually nauseous, but I've come to love your father. And the king goes, yes, there's a fine line between love and nausea. And then the queen is smiling, looks at him, and then frowns, and then looks back a second time and frowns.
The look is pretty good.
Again. It was just such a perfect look from her. Is just awesome.
I like the African themed insults that they throw back at each other in the training scene.
Rhinoceros.
Where he
pizzle.
goes, you
Pizzle.
sweat from a baboon's balls.
Mhm.
And then the other one is hippopotamus shit.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, rhinoceros pizzle. That's actually in the McDowell's scene. I forgot.
Oh
That's-
yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, hippopotamus shit. All right, so they get to New York. He's going to go to Queens, as Pete said, and we get a little glimpse of the first barbershop scene, and that's where they're talking about Cassius Clay changing his name to Muhammad Ali. That's where Cuba Gooding's getting his haircut. It's pretty short because then it comes back to that after they arrive. But speaking of the cab driver, so one of the best lines in this movie is he gets out of the airport and he walks in front of a cab and says, "Halt!" And the guy just gets out, "You dumb fuck."
Yes.
And what does dumb fuck mean?
Yes. When they're in the cab afterwards.
It's the last thing before they cut to another scene. What does dumb fuck mean?
Yeah, we're gonna have to use some F words in here. It's just you can't.
I've got the
'cause they're-
explicit thing.
but they're so well done, and they
It
hit.
is.
They hit just
This-
right. Like
This is
you
an
can't edit
example
this
we
movie.
talked about, like with stand-up comedians before. Some comedians work in profanity and are smart about it. Most comedians are, it just gets annoying. But this is an example of a movie that brilliantly uses profanity.
Well, and we have one coming up too when he's standing on the balcony and he's professing how great everything is. There's life happening in front of us, and a guy yells at him, "Fuck you!" And just the way he goes back, just yes, fuck you too. Like he's so happy. I think that's why it works, because it's almost like a child not understanding what it's saying,
It is.
and using the profanity. It's always funny when you hear like a 2-year-old say fuck,
But speaking of one of the best uses of it is, so they get to the apartment and they knock on the door, and Frankie Faison looks through the window and just goes, "Okay, now what the fuck do you want?"
Yes. Yes.
Well, don't forget on this scene too, when they arrive at the apartment, they have all these huge trunks for baggage,
Yes.
like expensive stuff, obviously highly valuable royalty stuff, and they leave it out on the curb, and then obviously it gets looted right away immediately. And then the next
then
day they go out and they're all
He
wearing.
sees
this
everybody
regal
wearing
stuff.
it.
I'm beginning to suspect that these are the people that stole our baggage.
But so Frankie takes them up to their room, and he says, "This is the room I was telling you about. It's real fucked up. Got just one window facing a brick wall. I used to rent it to a blind man. Damn shame what they did to that dog. There's a
I love
chalk
that
outline of a dog right in the middle of the floor.
Isn't there a chalk outline of a person, a dog, and a cane?
Is there a cane too?
I think there's a cane in there too.
I think there is, yeah.
So yeah, they get their really cheap apartment, but then they go downstairs and they go into the Mighty Sharp, the barber shop, and they're still arguing about boxers, and of course the white guy brings up Rocky Marciano, and the barber doesn't like that, but you've got the good line, he beat Joe Louis's ass. So
Well, and what's funny is that they obviously don't know what they're talking about, and they're just going back and forth. Like Joe Louis was 137 years old.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the barber is like he's like Donald Trump, just throwing out things that you would never believe in your life, but he just throws them out as real, and people just go along with it. Like,
Well, right before that, he goes, Joe Louis was 76 years old when he fought Rocky Marciano, and then he runs into Frank
It keeps getting
Sinatra.
bigger and bigger. Yeah.
he was lying. You ain't never met Frank Sinatra.
He said he was 137 years old.
You ain't never met Martin Luther the King. That comes later, doesn't it?
That comes
Well, and then
later.
I think this is when he says, "Fuck you, fuck
Yeah.
you, fuck you."
Who's next?
With a smile.
And so that's when the reason they go in there is because Akeem has this really long hair he's been growing in the back his whole
The
life,
ponytail.
this long ponytail. And he just says, "Make it nice and neat." And it's such a great line. He cuts it off. That's all he does. That'd be $8.
That'd be $8.
All right. So now we have to find that queen. So we got this speed dating scene at the bar, or all these women that they're meeting. And there's so many good lines here. All these different women. My favorite is, "My name is Peaches, and I'm the best. All the DJs want to feel my breasts. Egg up, egg up, egg up."
Big up.
So I'm sure you guys have another one or two you like out of there.
The other one I like is that it's Arsenio Hall himself, who is cross-dresser, and or he's cross-dressing, and he's like, "I'm gonna tear you apart." And your friend too.
And your friend,
To
too.
himself, to Arsenio
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah,
and
yeah.
It's on his string. Yeah, it's wonderful. I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
Yeah. I worship the devil.
With the match,
She just
the
smiled.
lighter.
So they
Yeah.
realize there's not a lot of luck out there. All these women are weird. How are they going to find a queen? And of course, Arsenio, he's not into this anyway. He didn't want to come. He thought the idea of the arranged marriage is perfect, because why wouldn't you take this woman who's going to do whatever you want? So
Yep.
he's just like, pick a queen and let's go.
And she was quite fetching, to be fair. The
Oh,
woman that,
Yeah, you like her.
I do.
So they go outside and they run into the barbershop guys who are going to the Black Awareness Rally, who tell them, "Oh, you can't go to a bar to find a girl. You got to go to a church or this place we're going tonight, Black Awareness Rally."
Good advice,
And-
actually.
And so they go there. And this is just chock full of every bit of goodness in this movie right here. Because you got the three guys talking, you've got Eddie watching, or you got Akeem watching these people, you got Randy Watson on stage, you got Arsenio Hall playing this
got the
out of
preacher.
control preacher.
Yep.
It is just gold. And the way there's a God somewhere.
While he's looking
It's a beauty
at
pageant, basically.
beauty
Yeah.
contestants, and he tells
The
them
preacher
to turn
is
around,
objectifying the women.
Yes. and then saying there's a God somewhere, the Hugh Hefner on high.
He's
It's like, I don't
wiping
know
off
what
his-
this is. Is it a religious thing? Is it a beauty pageant? Is it a
It's
black awareness thing?
Pete.
I know, but it's like,
Pete, you need to be aware of what this is.
You're the
Yeah.
one who said don't think about it, and this is a great example
That's
of that right here.
Exactly.
But you've got, the preacher's getting them all worked up, and Eddie, he's into it. Like Akeem, he can't get enough. He's so in love with everybody. He just loves people, and he gets up and yells, "I am very happy to be here." But then you come out, and we introduce Joe the policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama, Randy Watson. and what does Clint Smith say about him when he's singing their GIF?
that boy's good.
Yeah,
Buckwheat
couldn't
comes back
do
with, Yeah, good and terrible. And then, I mean, and how great is it? Not only is Randy Watson just this caricature of
The
a,
commitment to these guys
Yes.
is just amazing.
and then his band name, of course, being Sexual Chocolate.
Sexual
is
chocolate.
just
And he's
outstanding.
Got to stop
pounding
it,
the
stop on the
floor.
ground because nobody's applauding. He stops. He gets
Except
mad.
Clint Smith, who's doubling down. Damn, people I can say he good.
You must be crazy.
But in the
Oh.
midst of all the chaos, Lisa comes out to do a speech, and Eddie is, or Akeem, I should keep saying that. Actually, Akeem is immediately smitten by her,
Mhm.
and he wants to meet her. So they end up finding out that she works at McDowell's, and our next scene will take us to McDowell's, where we
Don't
learn about
forget about the offering plate.
Okay.
Yes, you
Oh, yes.
cannot
Oh,
forget
yes.
that.
How did I not write that down?
Pete,
Pete, say it.
Well, they're taking up a collection, and so everyone's putting in their money and everything. It gets passed to these barbershop guys, and
Arsenio guy.
the Arsenio guy. Well, they're putting their money in, and the one guy puts in like an eaten chicken drumstick in there, like a chicken bone. And he goes, donations. I thought it was trash.
that's gotta be.
That might be the most quoted line of any.
Yeah, I
of
can't
our
believe I
movies.
didn't write that down, because that is number one probably.
For me, I think that's probably number one.
Here it is.
As
I do
we, as
have
we
it.
go through, but that's got to be the most quoted line for
Yeah,
me.
it's up there.
But
Yeah.
importantly, though, in that scene, Akeem puts in a whole wad of money into the offering plate.
A very
Right.
large wad of money, which impresses Lisa, but who she thinks that it ended up being dummy Daryl. Okay, so we go to McDowell's and we learn about the so we meet John Amos, who is Lisa's dad,
Cleo.
and he's Cleo. He's trying to explain the misunderstanding he's got with the McDonald's people. Like, these guys are going to understand a word of it. The Golden Arcs, the Big Mick.
The Big Mick. I
I just
the
want to
Big
say
Mick.
about John Amos is that nobody, I don't know if I can think of an actor that has mastered the flared nostrils better than he does. That's what I notice on him every time. It's like when he's talking and he's getting really intense, like his nostrils will flare, and it just adds to it.
Yes, it does.
So he puts these two guys to work, and then Akeem's going to go to try to find Lisa, and so he tries to make small talk, but it ends with, when you think of garbage, think of Akeem.
Yes.
And so she doesn't know what to make of this guy. But we also meet Daryl with the So Glow commercial here.
Mhm.
And you meet what Daryl's like, is he throws his shake at Akeem, and it goes all over him. And it's great because Semi laughs at him, and Akeem,
Right.
this is the one time he does not like somebody and doesn't laugh.
Well, and this is where he also takes credit for the big wad of cash. You know,
Right.
so I mean, he's such a
He doesn't
douche.
actually. I mean, she mistakes his response that he did it, but then he goes along with it. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So first impression doesn't go well. They're back in the barber shop now. This is where he says, "You're lying. You ain't never met Dr. Martin Luther King." But this story is so great
No,
because
Martin Luther the King.
Yeah.
The king.
because he says he ran into him and he knocked him down, and Martin Luther King's, "Oops, I didn't know it was you. I thought you were somebody else."
And that's the end of the story.
Like, imagine Martin Luther King doing that. It's so dumb.
Please don't skip over when Eddie walks or when Akeem walks in and the barber looks at him and goes, "Hey, it's Kunta Kinte."
Kunta Kinte.
Like, they're so jovial and such high energy, and everything that they say is the funniest thing to themselves. Like,
Yeah.
they're always trying to
Oh,
top
to me too.
the next person. But I mean, it's just so awesome. Those barbershop guys to me are the best.
But they go in and talk about it again, and they get more advice from these guys. And these guys actually are pretty good, because they did lead him to Lisa. And now they say, you need to get in good with the father. And this is another line, like, he ain't lying. That's one of the best lines in the movie.
Yes.
That's a meme you can find anytime you need to put that into a text. It's
Yep.
great. So he goes back to work and tries to make small talk, this time with Cleo. And he's talking about the American football game. Did you catch it on the TV last night? It was most exhilarating. The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay. In the end, the Giants triumphed by kicking a ball made of pigskin through a large H. It was most exhilarating. And then he just
Told him
says,
to stay off the
"Boy,
drugs."
lay off the drugs."
Yeah.
I just think that whole line is just wonderful, the way he describes football.
Well, and we
But-
can't miss out on the basketball game.
Yeah,
It
so
comes up.
but before that, he does buy really expensive earrings
yes.
for Lisa, And I love the little card on it says from an admirer, not Daryl.
Not Daryl.
But again, he takes credit for those too. She just assumes they're from Daryl.
Mm.
Okay, now we're at the basketball game. Pete or Gifford, go ahead, because there's so many lines here too again.
Well, when they're watching the game, and of course Daryl's into it. He knows what's going on. He likes basketball, and I think there's a dunk, and of course Daryl yells, "Yeah, in your face!" And then of course it came, "Yes, in the face!" Right in the face.
But he's doing that because Patrice is feeling him up under the coat, and so he jumps up to get away from her arm, but also then to act like he knows what's going on.
And he does it, and it's halftime when he does it. There's nothing going on the floor.
He's very uncomfortable around her.
Well, I don't think she was just I think she was giving him a full tug. Is what I think.
Well, he still had his pants on, so.
Well, there's a fly in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is where Daryl is very rude to him and talks about chasing the monkey in Africa, and you can see that. So the only guy in this movie that Akeem does not love is Daryl, and he kind of is onto him from that very beginning. But he starts to question him, and he has to make up where he goes to college, the University of the United States. They go to the bathroom, and they run into this guy who recognizes him, who's bowing down to him. And that's a great line when they say, "Who is that guy?" And he just goes, "So just a man I met in the restroom." This leads to back at work again, back and forth. Now we have the holdup.
Yep.
So what an introduction to Samuel L. Jackson, but it's a great scene because Akeem and Semi, like they show now their worth, like because Cleo, probably thinks they're a couple of bumbling idiots and just do whatever, but they like save that place, and Daryl too acts like he's going to do something even though he doesn't.
But I had coffee. I was holding a coffee.
Hold my coffee. You understand. So, but it's a good pivotal scene because it shows other people, including Lisa, like there's something going on here with these guys. Like, who are they? Mm-hmm. And it's impressive. And then Cleo invites them to his party at his house, which they think is an invitation, but then they are actually valets working there.
I do want to go back to Samuel L. Jackson. His basically he has two lines that really stand out. He's like, "Who the fuck is this asshole?" And then he's like, "What?"
Yeah,
the way he delivers it, it's just hilarious.
Pete, that's like that line you love in Friends where they try to explain something to Chandler, and he just looks at him and goes, "What?"
What? That was the Christmas armadillo.
Not a Christmas armadillo. I'm the holiday armadillo. Oh, what?
So
because that part, you can go back to our second ever episode and hear all about that.
Mm-hmm. That part where Cleo tells the boys, "Hey, keep your Sunday open. I'm having something at my place." Reminds me of Caddyshack. When after Danny wins the tournament, and he goes, "What are you doing this weekend? How'd you like to mow my lawn?"
Danny's so excited at first.
Yep. Oh, for sure. And that's what you think. And this is the big douche move here. He's having these guys work on a Sunday night. Like Sunday, who works on a Sunday night? Like, God, that is just such a dick move. And then of course he brings Akeem into his home. And tells him, Kyle, if you work, 20, 30 years, maybe you could have a place like this. And he's like, that would be something.
It's obviously got a gigantic palace back home.
But the best part of this party is they get to meet these characters, new ones and old ones. So the preacher is back. Mm-hmm. I love the Lord. And if loving the Lord is wrong, I don't want to be right. Yep. And you meet Daryl's grandma and parents on the couch, and they get up, and of course they leave the giant soul glow marks on the couch. Classic scene. Mm-hmm. But you got this preacher just walking around talking to people about all this stuff. He helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island.
Get off the island.
It's just great. I just love Arsenio Hall, man. He should have won an Oscar for this movie.
He was pretty damn good.
But of course, the big key here is Daryl and Cleo, without even consulting Lisa, announce the engagement, which pisses her off, of course. And that brings her and Akeem even closer together. And now they're going to actually go on a date afterwards. So,
right. The connection being is that they're both being forced into a marriage that they don't want to be a part of. So that's how they're able to connect. However, I do think that it's Daryl's an asshole, but this is over the top asshole just to announce that they're going to
Yeah,
get
baby.
engaged.
It's how
that they're getting
engagement party.
engaged.
Well, and this is all, you know,
Well, a lot of it's
Cleo-
the dad though too.
yeah, Cleo's all
Well, yeah,
about what
but
he's
it wasn't his fault. Yeah, it's true. But he didn't know. For all he knew is that she had already agreed to it. And so, I mean, he's making the announcement assuming that the
Daryl-
daughter had already agreed
But
to.
you know,
it
it
could
is good that you brought that up. It's a good comparison because John Amos, the Cleo character, really is like James Earl Jones here. Like he's making the decision for the daughter,
Mhm.
but you know, and he doesn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then later, though, he kind of learns his lesson. Takes a little while, although it's mostly because of all the money. But like the
Right.
dads have to learn their lesson, and they both are kind of, even though they hate each other, and they kind of have to both learn to
Right.
let go of their kids.
Yeah,
Let them
and
make their
do
own
what's
decision.
best for their kids rather than what is, what they think would be best. Let their kids make their own decisions.
So Akeem and Lisa go on a date, and it's a great time. And
Mhm.
she's been trying to see his apartment, and he'll never let her in there. And in an offhanded comment, he made a comment to Semi to go ahead and fix the place up a little bit. So he finally brings her back to the apartment, and he opens the door, and there's Semi in a hot tub, and you've got like,
Neon
fluorescent lights and all kinds of expensive
Their
stuff.
equipment, hot tub, yeah.
So he can't let her in, and they decide to go out instead. And this is where he gives the money to Randolph and Mortimer with the great scene. He learns the song "To Be Loved" at the restaurant when they dance together, and then he sings it all the way home. And at the same time, the parents are arriving. So you've got all this stuff like connecting at once.
Yep.
But Semi, before Akeem is aware of it, he meets the parents first. Sorry, they're not there yet. He goes to ask the parents for money at the wire some money, and this woman,
Western Union.
another white. They're
Oh,
actually three
yeah,
white
yeah.
people.
And she was
Yep.
hilarious too.
She's great
Yeah.
because she thinks he's just completely crazy. Well, why don't we go for a cool $1 million? You think
Right.
that's enough?
Right.
That's what brings the parents is Semi asking for all that money, like there must be some problem.
Right. Well, and just on his letter, how he put it, like, please send $300,000 as we are in dire straits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and this woman is so incredulous to this whole situation. So she doesn't think it's actually going to get wired, of course. So she's like, why not ask for a cool $1 million?
And the misunderstandings continue because Patrice gets her way into their apartment while he's gone. And so she finds out, but he, to kind of explain it to her, says he's the prince. And so
Semi,
she
yep.
thinks that Semi is the prince, which leads to more problems. But so now Akeem insists that they switch apartments again because they need to have a cheap apartment. And so, of course, Frankie Faison comes back and he asks him, does your apartment look poor? Yeah, it's a real
It's a real
shithole.
shithole.
You'll love it.
You'll love it. So they switch, but the king and the queen show up. We go back to the barber shop. They all come in just throwing these flowers all over the place. Who's going to clean up all these flowers?
Actually, this might be the line.
Yes, the
that
velvet
gives you-
line.
Yes.
Yes,
It's
say it.
beautiful. What is that? Velvet? I mean, it's just.
He's just feeling the guy's robe right there, the lion, whatever it is. You know what's funny about that? We have a new teacher at our school this year. She's 50 something, and she came in on the second day of workshops wearing, it's like George Costanza, wearing a full bodysuit of blue velvet. And I'm like, oh my God, it's George Costanza draping himself in velvet. And I wanted to go up to her and say, this is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
I know you drape yourself in velvet if it were socially acceptable.
But she pulled it off, man. She was confident in that thing. So good for her.
Oh,
He learns that his son has a job at McDowell's. My son works.
yep.
This is where things start getting crazy then. So he goes to the house.
No.
Right? No.
You got to go downstairs to Frankie's old apartment where Seme is, and that's where they knock on the door and
He opens the door.
He just screams and slams it shut in their face. So that was unscripted. That was not in the script for him to do that. Arsenio Hall just did it on his own, and everybody lost it. So they're like, well,
Again,
that's the take. Like, we're taking
give that
for
man
sure.
an Oscar.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so they do get over to the house, and this is where Cleo's back and forth. Daryl shows up, and he doesn't want him coming in because now he's fully convinced that Akeem's the man because he has his own money, baby. And so he's running back and forth. You got the funny music playing, which is just like out of a sitcom. And so you got great John Amos sitcom dad playing this role. It's perfect. Go ahead.
So
Yeah.
the
But
third
he's frantic, but he's not over the top though. It's like he pulls it off.
He's
like
trying to play it cool, but he's on
Right.
inside. He's frantic.
so the third time he runs up the stairs, he literally did trip. Like that
makes sense.
that is not in the script. He tripped, and they're like, that's hilarious. So we're leaving that in. I do love the line here where he's yelling at Daryl, and he says, "Can't you get it through your greasy head?" The word "greasy,"
Your favorite word.
I love it. I love it. That might be where I got it from. I don't know, but I just love the word "greasy."
This is great.
Oh,
though,
don't
because this
forget
is
where he sticks the dog Dottie after him when he's at the
yeah.
door.
This is where he like changes though, because the king is very rude to him,
his daughter.
and like belittles. Oh yeah, to the daughter, and he stands up for her, and he finally realizes that. And I love the way he handles the king. Like he is the first person to stand to him, and then on top of that, the mom, the queen, says, "Put a sock in it, Joffrey."
Poison love.
Yeah, and so he gets doubled up on there, and like they all realize that you got to let him go. I love the scene because it's raining outside, so Daryl shows up at Patrice's window because he has nowhere to go.
Why is he still there?
I
Just
don't know.
creeping around. He's got his own
Interesting.
fucking car. He could leave. It's raining.
It's a stupid scene, but it's so funny because she says, "We have to get you out of these wet clothes," and he looks at the camera and breaks the fourth wall out of nowhere. I
Well, there
love
was-
that.
4 of those situations. The dog did it one time. Daryl does it. I think Semi does it when they tell him he needs to go to the Waldorf Astoria and get cleaned up.
He does kind of there because they say he's going to be punished, but he has to be bathed by the royal bathers.
Yes.
And he just smiles.
And Hakeem does it earlier in the movie too.
Well, is
So
it
there-
when he smiles after all the flipping? If you count that, that's kinda
No, it was some comment. He turns and looks at the camera, but there was a
Okay.
few times during that where he does
well,
where you see the going through the fourth wall. One of the things I love
Daryl's is
about
the
this,
most memorable to me. He's that's a
Right.
good one.
what
But
I
it's
love
just
about
kind of
this,
so unnecessary. It's like that scene doesn't even need to be there at all.
right. Well, what I like about this scene is Cleo is normally like always in control of himself, but he is so over the top trying to impress the royal family. He's got his little pigs in the blanket. They're the frozen kind, but you never know. He puts the queen in the lazy boy, like throws it back, and then just leaves her there, and you can see her in the background trying to get out of this chair. And he's just doing anything he can to impress this royal group, and they're they don't
In
give
this
a shit.
middle class house.
Yeah,
Well, he's
which is
acting like his
great.
house is so impressive, and
Yep.
they're just looking at it like, yeah, okay,
Right,
you
yeah.
should see where we're from.
And he's trying so hard. But then I did like the part where Joffrey does insult Lisa, and that's where he's like, "You don't got enough money, Jack. Like now, money doesn't matter. Like I don't fuck with my daughter. Don't say
He
bad
does
things
have
about my
his
daughter."
own ethics there, his own morals.
Yeah.
And and it's kind of like that's the last really, really funny scene because things, we got to have our
Mhm.
finish here. So we go to the subway scene where
Now we got
Lisa's run away and Akeem follows, and another white person, the lady, "Go on, honey, take a chance."
Take a chance. And then she
I
just
love
takes
that
off.
too.
Where she like Lisa just takes off out of the subway, and that's it. And you see
Have you ever noticed how she takes off the earrings and she throws them at him, and
was a
somehow they
perfect
stay
catch.
together and he catches both? Doesn't that seem a little crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little ridiculous, but who cares?
No, I know. It's a cool move. I just like there's no way that would happen.
Well, then he gives them to that nice little old lady.
So as far as we know,
$500,000.
Lisa
earrings.
ain't buying it. She leaves. She's gone. He ends up in the back seat of the car with the royal family heading home. And this is where it gets weird. This is my question. So they talk about how he should be able to make his own decision or whatever. And there's that girl in the front seat that we don't know.
The
And
lady
she
in
turns
waiting.
around and she looks like she's scared or upset. Like
Mhm.
I've never understood what that is supposed to be. Like, did she set up the whole thing herself? Because that doesn't make
No.
any sense. Because who is she?
No, she's like the queen's aho. Like she would be
Oha.
Oha, sorry. Like she's
the-
the lady in waiting in this, and she's always with the queen. So I just think it's a part where she sees the royal couple arguing, and it's kind of a look on her face of, oh boy, like these two are kind of getting
okay.
into it.
I guess that's not really how I took it, but I guess that makes as much sense as anything.
What I don't like is the reveal at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
why
really
is
no
this-
hint. There's really no hint of how it happened or who made it happen of anything.
Right.
There should
it's
be.
just-
There's some missing, some little tiny hint missing of what took place,
Well, it's just
pretty
which
the
is what I
Queen
thought that
playing-
girl's face
But-
was supposed to signify, but it
Oh,
doesn't
God.
make sense.
No. This
Pete?
is just, the queen told the king, who are you to if you can't change the tradition, who can? So then you're just supposed
That's the
to
last
make
line.
that
You're-
jump of, oh well,
I know.
he made the change, so now they contacted Cleo and Lisa and convinced them to
Yeah.
come.
I said,
I
"Come
know.
with us." Yeah,
Yeah.
And I get that. It's the whole scene with that one girl. It's just like it doesn't fit there, and it confuses
Oh.
things. So to me, at least.
Okay.
All right, so we're back in Zamunda. The wedding's happening. He still doesn't even know, but he pulls up the veil. She's there. Hey, it's happy. Everybody's happy, and there's a big party.
And,
And
then,
then-
and then it's pretty funny at the end where he's like, "Well, if you want to give it all up today, we can." And then she looks around at all the celebration. She's just like, "Nah."
And
And
you
then
get to
it-
see even Cleo gets to stand on the throne there too at the wedding. So
He's
They're
pretty
all
happy about that.
I love that little. It's sort of fakey, but how the pose,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and everything at the throne. But it's funny.
but it's not quite over. So you've got the
No.
credits where they show all the different characters, which is with the fun music. It's just fun to see it with the music playing. But then we have one final after credits with the barber shop, and we got the old Jewish guy Eddie Murphy telling this joke.
Joke at the restaurant.
You want to tell the joke?
So the guy orders soup, and he tells the waiter, "Try the soup." And, well, is there anything wrong with it? Is fly in the soup? Oh, just try it. Well, is it too hot? Well, try the soup. Where's the spoon?
Aha.
Aha.
But then it's funny because they all
He
just look
says it
at him.
like-
They all just look at him and don't laugh. He's what do you know from funny, you bastard?
Yeah, bastard. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
great
I love
movie.
the movie. I love the ending. There's that one little weird part to me, but everything else is just
It's
basically
fine.
perfection, including
Mhm.
tying another movie trading places into it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Very,
And it's
very,
what-
very well done.
All right. Any other final quotes you missed or comments on the movie there, guys? Hold up for you.
Not off the top of my greasy head.
Oh, I had written down. I feel like breakdancing.
Oh, Cleo.
Yeah. Uh,
And it sounded like at the beginning, Pete still thinks it's a great movie, correct?
oh yeah, God.
No
yes.
complaints. Gifford?
No.
Yeah, it's great. I watched it on DVD, special edition DVD. So yeah, I enjoyed it. All the previews were for Eddie Murphy movies.
Mhm.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't watch any of the extra like commentary or anything like that. But yeah, it's fun. It's awesome. And it's it's the first time that Eddie Murphy played in a movie all these other characters and kind of set that off for him, like with the Nutty Professor and Norbit, and so
I don't think anything could top what they did in this one though. Between
No.
the makeup and the lines and the characters they were playing, it's just
Yeah.
it's amazing. All right. Well, we kind of hinted earlier in the show. You brought up Red Fox, and who's the other guy you brought up?
well, Seinfeld.
No, that's in Harlem Nights.
Oh, Pryor.
Richard Pryor, right.
Yep.
And we mentioned Eddie Murphy, of course, throughout. So a topic we haven't yet discussed or drafted is stand-up comedians, and we all like a lot of stand-up comedians. So
Yep.
considering Eddie Murphy, that's kind of how he got his start. Or I mean, I guess SNL is probably his big break, but he went
He
on to
started
before
as-
movies. His stand-up was all over the place, and he kind of ruled through the '80s there for a while. So we're going to draft our favorite stand-up comedians, not just from the '80s, but overall.
Yep.
Anybody you want. And order we're going tonight is Pete, which I think is good because it feels like Pete likes stand-up comedians the best. He's the one
I
that
do
goes
love
this
stand-up
season.
comedians, but I'm not going outside the box really with my number one pick.
Well,
All
and then
right.
Gifford is second, and I'm last. So who is the number one pick?
It's got to be Jerry Seinfeld for
Yeah.
me. I think he is the perfect stand-up comedian, just that daily observational stuff that he does. And by and large, he keeps his act clean. He never uses profanity, but he's able to get right to the edge more perfectly than any comedian, but not go over it where it's annoying. And it's just like, that's all. It's not like raunchy, obviously, or anything like that. So Jerry Seinfeld, number one.
All right, Giff.
Well, I'll go the other way. I'll go with the guy who talked about the 7 words you can't say on television. I'm going to go with George Carlin.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I like him. And there's a clip. There's such a great clip. I'm not getting political here because it's just referring to a clip he did. But I keep seeing this back in like the 80s where he's talking about conservatives, which are different then. So it doesn't even matter. But he's describing them. And the way he describes it is just, it is amazing. And it is so like relevant to the way people act today and everything. It's really crazy. That guy was, he was something else.
It's like they don't give a shit about you, like the government. He's talking about government, and yeah, so good.
All right, Brad, who's the
and
last number one?
Well, I'm going to go with the guy that I think is probably considered the number one stand-up comic of all time then, because that's going to help me out here. I'm taking Richard Pryor.
Yeah. He's way up there.
Even though I like my comedians to be a little more clean, I think Richard Pryor is kind of in a league of his own.
Oh my God, he had so much good stuff. Yeah, those are 3 really. I mean, I'm glad those are good 3 to start with.
Back to Pete.
All right, Pete.
All right. Well, Brad, I'm surprised you didn't pick this one, but I'm going with Steve Martin.
Yes, that would have been a good choice. Wow, I think it's because I think of him, more as a movie guy for me, because
me too.
Around definitely fits the category though.
Yep. Right. No, he's on my list. I actually, if I had seen him, maybe I would have taken him, but I'm trying to win here.
Well, I am not going to do what we do a lot of times where we make up these categories based on our subjects for tonight and then not take it. So I am going to take Eddie Murphy.
All right. I'm going to go with the guy that really made me love stand-up comedy more as an adult here. He's kind of what I would consider to be the more modern embodiment of Jerry Seinfeld because he's pretty clean. He's hilarious. I'm taking John Mulaney. I mean, the guy has been just a genius. He's been through some stuff.
Yes, he has.
But his stand-ups are incredible. They're so funny, and it speaks to me.
Definitely on my list. I'm going with another guy that's known for being really clean, more current, Nate Bargatze.
I knew you'd take him.
I saw him on Netflix before he had the Netflix special. I saw him. I absolutely loved him before he really, really became big like he is now. And so I'm glad to see him make it big. Love him.
Sure.
I'd love to see him in person, and we were going to go, but tickets were like $400.
Right. Yeah.
To go see him is ridiculous.
I got my next 2 picks ready here, Gifford. I wonder if you're going to take one.
I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to. But I think it is fitting that this guy gets picked in the 3rd round because, once again, he's getting no respect.
Oh, no, that's one of the 2 I was talking about.
I'm taking Rodney.
Okay.
I didn't think. Okay. Well, sorry.
Hey, I bet you was something before electricity.
Don't tell him you're Jewish, okay? All right.
I was going to pick him.
Okay.
And if I didn't get him, then I was going to take the greatest one-liner comedian of all time, Stephen Wright.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. He's basically a standing, talking Far Side comic.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
That is a really good way to put it.
And we all love the Far Side here.
Yes.
I'm going to go with another one that's his humor is very similar to Stephen Wright. May he rest in peace. A local guy, Mitch Hedberg.
Yep.
Actually, I did see him in person at Acme Comedy Club before I had even really heard of him. It was just one of those where we were just going and he was a headliner, but he was funny, but he was clearly drunk on stage and he was repeating a couple of his jokes and it was a little bit problematic towards the end of it.
Was it as bit? Oh, was it as bad as seeing Evan Dando? Were you at the Lemonheads concert with us, Pete?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. Well, Evan Dando, the lead singer of the Lemonheads, was completely drunk and out of his mind when we went to that concert a couple months ago, and it was something else.
I like his bit about Reese's Pieces. Like, why is there a apostrophe? Who is Reese? Why are these?
I like grammatical humor. That's great.
Yeah, he's outstanding. But yeah, I mean, same. same family, him and Wright for sure.
Yes.
Who's your next pick?
I am gonna go with Dave Chappelle. I know he's got some controversial stuff as of late, but still love his stand-up.
Yeah, I got Richard Pryor, but I can tell Gifford's going to win this one again. Well, I'll take another guy who's a little controversial, not for his comedy, but because of outside activities. But his comedy was awesome, and he was also on Parks and Rec for a while and had a great arc. And Louis C.K.'s stand-up was amazing.
Yep, he's
even though
on my list.
Don't see him much anymore due to
Well, and Brad, I hope that you love one of his bits. I think I sent it to you about math teachers.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I've heard that by other people too. I don't remember if it was him that first did it. It must have been, I suppose. But
oh my god, it's so funny.
I don't remember.
I love that.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different one, but I'm sure I've read it or I saw it.
And who are these kids? Just kids who live around the building.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Do they want to learn math? No, they don't want to learn it.
Just whoever lives by the building.
Just who live around the building.
That is so good. Yeah. And it's so true.
It's so true.
And here I am living it again for the 28th time.
God, it's awesome.
I am just sad. I'm
Who's
sad
your
looking at
last
my
one?
list, knowing at how many people are not going to get drafted.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot
because there's
left
a
over
lot of
here.
really great ones here.
Yep.
But I'm going with this one because this is one that I will actively seek out any new specials, and if I come across it, I have to watch it. One of my personal favorites, David Spade.
Very good.
Really? Wow.
God,
That
I
one's
love
out of
him.
nowhere, I thought.
Yeah,
I know.
That's a good pick. Okay. Well, God, again, Pete, I'm with you. There's one in particular that I feel bad not picking here, but this guy I love. I love seeing his old stuff again and again and again. He was one of the members of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and in my opinion, the best on there, and that is Ron White. I think he's got so much great stuff. I love his take on a lot of things. So I'm going Ron White.
Okay, for my last one, if I wanted to continue with the theme I had, I could pick probably the best stand-up on my list, a certain Bill Cosby.
Yep.
But I'm going to skip over that one. I can handle Louis C.K. on my list, but I'm probably going to avoid Bill Cosby.
Are we doing Children of the 80s rule on this?
So instead of him, I will take. I guess if I'm taking the guy that I probably have watched the most and liked the most, I'm not. I'm gonna take Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
He's on my list
because that's the kind of humor I love too, and so I'll use him for my last pick.
The one I'm ashamed that none of us picked. I really hoped with that last one you were going to take Bob Newhart.
I considered Bob Newhart for my last pick. I've got him right here. Actually, the guy I was going to pick, was Jim Gaffigan.
Yep.
Because I watched more of his specials than probably most of these other people. I've seen Bill Burr in concert. Actually, that was not. I like him a lot, but it wasn't very good. And
oh no,
it was me and Dave from our show and our wives, and they did not like it. And but I didn't either. And I'm not that easily offended, but it didn't work that night. It wasn't. It wasn't great.
Yep.
Chris Rock, of course, is pretty good.
Yep.
If I wanted to pick one just for our friend Dave, I'd pick Patton Oswalt or David Cross. Those guys are great. And I know how much he loves them. Of course, you got Robin Williams.
Yep.
Sarah Silverman. We haven't mentioned any women yet, but she's probably one of the best ones.
Yep.
Gary Shandling and the guy that I really love, and Pete knows him. I don't know if Gifford, if you know him not. He's got some specials on Netflix. He's really funny. Rory Scovel.
Yes.
Yep. He starts one. He starts one where all he does is come on stage and say, I'm not even going to say it, but he's referring to an act that is a taboo act that people do. And he just repeats it over and over. And then he's like, who's done it?
And Dave thinks it's the funniest thing of all time.
Yes. It's a pretty funny thing to just throw out there.
It is. But he's the one David's the one that keeps that one going. For sure.
So, but it's brilliantly done because it's so there's literally nothing to it, but the way he delivers it and times it, it's like gets funnier and funnier.
Mhm.
That's all on my list. Who else did we miss?
I got a couple of good ones. Brad, if you like grammatical humor, you should watch Dimitri Martin.
Oh, I
Oh.
have seen. Yeah, he draws the pictures, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
he does.
And plays guitar, right?
And he's overall pretty clean, but he'll drop an
Yep.
F-bomb in there. But
I've
a time
seen
or two.
him. I've seen at least one of his.
The one thing I don't like about his specials is that it's totally not necessary, but he'll throw in, like they'll throw in like a picture on the screen or something that doesn't even need to be there. They're trying to add to it, but he's good enough where he doesn't need that extra kind of content. But he is really good. The one person that I remember watching back, probably Showtime or HBO or something, that made me really fall in love with stand-up comedy was a guy named Richard Jenny. Do you remember him?
Yep.
He died sadly of suicide in 2007 at the age of 49. But he had a special that I remember watching, and he did a bit about Minnesota people, which I just thought was the funniest thing. If New York people played against Minnesota people on Family Feud, he did a bit about that, and it was the whole act was funny. I do like Brian Regan, who's
Yes.
also, we actually saw him on New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, and he was good.
Very clean.
Yeah, very
Pete, have you
clean.
watched the show on Netflix? God, I can't think of the name now, but Ron Livingston is the main character.
Yeah,
and Brian
yeah.
Regan's in it.
Yep.
You have?
Isn't it Loudermilk?
I have watched.
Yes,
it.
Loudermilk.
Yep.
That's a
I
really
haven't gotten
funny
all the way
show.
through it, but I have been. I've watched the first couple of seasons.
That's one that even like Kim and I both. She loved it too. We ripped through that
Mm-hmm.
show.
Brian Regan reminds you of Will Ferrell. I think he reminds me a lot of Will Ferrell, who could be on this list, but he's not. But I don't really think of Will Ferrell as a stand-up comic by himself.
I remember Regan on Comedians in Cars getting coffee.
Yes,
And him and Seinfeld got on this tangent of being blown away and where that saying comes from. It's one of my favorite things from that whole show.
I think he's been on that show multiple times. And there was another one where they're talking
twice. Yeah,
they had a conversation about what do you think the highest echelon that has ever been in world history that has used the phrase "you have to jiggle the handle."
yes.
like some duke.
Yep.
Like you have to jiggle the handle.
Oh, God.
The last one I had is Dana Carvey, who is really good stand-up comedy too.
I got a couple old school here yet with Don Rickles and Joan Rivers.
Oh, I forgot to mention Sam Kinison, didn't I? Do you have him down? Did we say him?
I don't. I was never a big fan of Kinison.
No, but we got to say him.
Yep. I was a fan of Amy Schumer when she came out. A lot of her stuff really
Yeah, I
caught
actually
me.
kind of like her too. Or did at least.
Ricky Gervais wasn't mentioned yet.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of great stuff. I like the show. I liked, but his stand-up as well. Daniel Tosh, I think, had so much great stuff. He did such a great job of being an elitist prick, and he had little wry smiles as he was telling his punchlines, almost like, "Am I going to get away with saying this like this?" Which I really enjoyed. Anthony Jeselnik, he's kind of more of a shock guy. And then I got Lewis Black. I've always liked Lewis Black.
Oh, hey, Gifford, remember when we went to that with our wives?
And that wasn't
That didn't
that
go
good.
well either.
No,
And I didn't. No, he was not good. He just. Oh, that was not somebody
It
for
was
Kim to watch. She did
too
not
much
like-
swearing. Like
and
you could
screaming.
tell. You could tell he was working on material. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a polished act.
Yeah, I remember that. Even you were not very impressed.
I was
You were
not,
the one
but
that
he-
wanted to go.
But his specials, I enjoy his specials very much. Tom Segura is very funny. And then one I like that's out on the scene now as well is Sebastian Maniscalco. Really enjoy him. He's pretty animated, funny guy. So that's what I got on my list.
Well, I should throw in too. John Ralphio, Ben Schwartz. He
Oh,
did a
yep.
show. Him and I can't remember who the guy did it with. I think he was on Silicon Valley. Like they're really funny, and they have like a stage show,
Yeah.
a stand-up show on it. I mean, they probably both do it separately too. But Ben
Yeah, I can
Schwartz,
see the
that guy's
face.
funny.
Yep. Well, yeah, and there's a ton we haven't obviously even mentioned. I mean, there's so many great ones out there, and
I would
that are,
love
you know,
to hear on
long
Twitter
gone
from
too.
the audience. I would love to hear who we didn't mention that our audience on Twitter would like to add to it by commenting under
Yep.
our thread.
Well, I hope
Please
they listen
do.
to you this time because we didn't get any mustache pictures, Pete. So
Oh, that's right.
man.
Oh, that's right. We
I
did.
tried.
We'll always welcome. You can still add them. Be
That's
sure
true.
to add your.
Maybe you haven't listened yet.
There's no deadline. There's no deadline on it.
Or maybe people are still growing them, waiting for that bad boy
No.
to come in.
Johnny often gives his hashtags weeks after, so that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
We should mention, so I mentioned all those movies I watched with my brother. So many of them came from 1988. The reason, again, why we did this is because of the Twitter poll, where we did get a lot of good interaction. And it came down to Die Hard and Coming to America for best movie of 1988. And Die Hard won, of course, but we already have an episode on Die Hard, so you can go listen to that next. But that's why we did Coming to America tonight, because much like Metallica winning our best American band poll, Coming to America was kind of the big winner in another poll. And next week, we will finish off that set of shows with our take on controversial bands and our episode on Eagles.
Eagles.
Not
so
the
good.
Eagles,
Not the
Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
So stay
Gifford.
tuned for Eagles.
Hey, Gifford.
Yes, Pete.
What was the best campus band at the University of the United States?
That's where they got their big break. It was Preacher Row.
That's right.
That's right. Yep.
You nailed it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes. And
Bye.
fuck you too.
What
Too
does dumb
long.
fuck mean?
Who's next?
Standing on my own 2 feet. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your song is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Next time, tell me on my back. I turn it